freaks to the metal hand of God. Metal hand of God. I'd like to welcome all you freaks to the metal hand of God. We some nerds with the urge to purge on some mind. Show them the dick print and hit them with the rod. The love doctor tell you how to get the Ichabod. Crane, Adam Rowe, Kyle and Wayne. How do they maintain when they clinically insane? We keep it so metal that we speaking yoga flame. Adam Story's got a point if you let him explain. It's the pun of all puns, get a pun with Papa Wayne. Rum tapping the vein, 9 minutes bringing pain. MHOG secreting, leaving a stain. You ain't as dope as us, bitch. Stay in your lane.
Hello and welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast, where we are alone. This is episode 451.
I mean, we're not alone. We're together.
We are together.
Sing the song. Come on. Together again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is together again. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't know the rest of it.
You know what else I remember from that movie? When Kermit has his amnesia and Miss Piggy is like, "You love me, and we're going to get together and we're supposed to get married and have babies," and he was like, "Let's bring home the bacon."
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
We can go hog wild, and then she like punches him. And it's pretty funny because you never saw Kermit like go off on somebody before. Like, he basically calls her a fat whore.
Pretty much.
Oh, good times. We're back when Muppets called people fat whores.
They didn't really say that, though.
I mean, not in so many words, but you could read between the lines. And let's be honest, Miss Piggy was kind of a whore. I mean,
kind of a bitch.
Charles, what the fuck is that dude's name?
Yeah, I forgot his name too. From the fucking the Great Muppet Caper.
Charles Grover. That was his name, right?
Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin comes along on a motorcycle, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that dick." You know, like she forgets all about them frogs.
Kind of did though.
Mm-hmm. She fucked him. She totally fucked him. Yeah. And Grodin looks. I think that's where we get the word Grody is from Charles Grodin. Yes, I'm a nearly 40-year-old man who just said the word grody.
Grody.
But yeah, so it's you and me. Rum has European AIDS.
Yes, he does.
Which is not as bad as like African AIDS, but not as good as Asian AIDS.
Asian AIDS.
Asians get AIDS.
No, just the way you said it was funny. Asian AIDS.
Mm-hmm. American AIDS is better than all of them, though. If you want to get AIDS, you definitely want American AIDS.
That's why I just left it. Pause.
Speaking of AIDS,
I'm having aggravation with the computer right now.
You're having aggravation with a lot of things.
I am, and well, right now this is my, most aggravation. Like, I downloaded that thing you told me to get, right?
CCleaner.
Yeah, and now it won't even open.
The program or the computer?
The program.
I'll have to look at it at some point. I don't know.
It's a pain in the ass, dude.
We've been having technical difficulties. We were supposed to have a guest on who I guess was like, fuck it, I don't feel like being on, which is nice because like I spoke to him literally 5 hours ago. And he's like, what time should I be on? I was like, you're in California, you're about 2 hours ahead, so 4:45, which would be 7 p.m. our time. Yeah, it's
that time right now.
Well, no. Well, it would have been 6:45, so that would have been an hour ago, which is funny because the joys of podcasting. So neither your recording software nor my recording software was working up until literally 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we folks, you don't realize how much we go through just to put this show on for the few people who listen. Like we really need money, honestly. I'm not asking y'all for money. I mean, if you want to give us money,
If you want to donate, dude, that would be fantastic. It'd be great.
Feel
I'll give you like handwritten.
I thought you were gonna say.
We'll do some autograph signings of our pictures, like Rum always wants to do.
I thought you were gonna say you'll give them a hand job.
Oh no, not me.
I mean, you could. You got fat hands.
Fuck you.
Well, you know what? You need to have fat hands to go around that fat meaty dick. That's why.
All right. Well, thanks. That's better.
You feel better now? No,
that was a good comeback. Appreciate it.
We could definitely use new equipment. But you know, my computer's running finally. We're recording as long as Skype doesn't like kick us off or something. What was that noise? Is Skype gonna kick us off?
No, that was me. I'm doing something over here to try to clean up this computer. I'm sorry that it's every now and then you'll hear one of those. I have a good thought and it makes that noise.
Well, speaking of fat whores and computers, yes. This morning I saw something that scared the tits off me.
Yeah, I saw you posted something about that, and I didn't understand it, so I was hoping that we'd get into this.
Okay, so major software corporations like Apple and Google have usually, I mean, Apple and Google both have annual conferences. Actually, Apple has a couple of them. There's some that's like specifically for app development and stuff like that. I think Google only has the one called I/O. And apparently I/O was, I guess, this week. And so they rolled out like, so basically they show you some stuff that's about to come out and stuff that they're working on now. They give you a glimpse.
Right.
And so they had like a bunch of shit, and a lot of it I was watching. Now I just watched the cliff notes. I didn't watch the whole thing. The whole thing's like 4 hours.
Okay.
I'm making up the amount, but it's a long time. It's a conference.
It's like those TED Talks, you know. It's like 45 hours of like 15-minute segments.
Yeah, we're both bad at math today, but sure.
I am.
So
I'm bad at math every day. I don't know about you.
So, but I watched the cliff notes, and a lot of it's like stuff that's just technology for technology's sake. I was actually thinking about this today. I was like, aside from like maybe giving us hoverboards finally,
right?
Or you know, I don't know if we're responsible enough for jetpacks, but like hoverboards,
we're getting there.
Do we really need like any more technology? Like, can't they just simplify the things that are working, like make them work a little bit better? But we don't need like so. One of the things that they're saying they're rolling out soon as like, I guess, I don't know if it's beta testing or whatever's after beta, theta, I don't know.
Omega.
No, Omega's the last one.
I know.
But so they're doing, I don't remember what it's called, but some sort of predictive text. So I have a Gmail account. So I go to type an email and Google is going to, it's like autocorrect times 100. So in theory, Google is going to predict what I'm going to type before I type.
Ooh.
I don't know how that works because, like, in theory, like doesn't that mean?
I don't know how they know what I'm thinking. That's bad. If they know what I'm thinking, they got fucked up shit going on over there.
Or you're super predictable. Predictable. That's a word. There's a word in there. But like, I'm like, well, what? Why do I need that? Like I don't like autocorrect. I don't want Google predicting what I'm going to say before I say it.
Right. Because they suck at autocorrect.
Can't they just actually Google's autocorrect is better than the one that we have on our iPhones, but doesn't matter. Still sucks. So the thing that scared me shitless is Google Duplex. I don't know why it's called Google Duplex. I have no idea. But so basically it takes the concept okay, so you know, Apple has Siri, I forget what Amazon has Alexa, Windows has Cortana. Well, Google's digital personal assistant is just called Google Assistant. Okay? And it does the same thing. Apparently Google Assistant's better than the other ones though. So the next step in Google Assistant is going to be Google Duplex. Google Duplex is going to be actual artificial intelligence. Now, if you don't know, there's actually I recently heard about this. I don't know that much about it, but apparently there's like 3 different levels of artificial intelligence, and we're kind of on the bottom rung now. Apparently Siri and all that does technically, it's not real artificial intelligence, but it kind of is, according to some like technical specification. So the next level, Google Duplex will be able to, like, basically you'll say, hey Google, call my salon and make an appointment for me between this. I'm actually just telling you what they did in the video, between 10 and 12, 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. So they show this video, or well, I mean, it was really just a screen, but it was essentially a video where the Google Assistant calls the salon and has a conversation with the woman, and it has like all the filler words that we do, like you know, and puts them in the right place where it kind of makes sense. And this thing had a conversation, and it scared the fuck out of me. like not because I like the actual technology. I'm like, can't you just make your own fucking salon appointments? Like, I don't. That's useless. I mean, it's not useless. It's just stupid. You know, like where are we as a society if we can't just make our own phone calls? If the phone's just going to call people for us? But this thing, there was no trace of it being a computer. It sounded exactly like a person.
Come on, man. Don't be afraid.
And I was talking to one of the guys on... I can't think of their name right now.
You're running host?
No. The movie review guys.
Popcorn, piss and vinegar?
Yes, popcorn, PPV guys. Now they call themselves PPV guys. Well, actually, I was talking to 2 of them, Scott and John Bayer, and you know, John. I mean, I know this, but he was saying like it's silly to be upset, like, because this is just them putting on a presentation. It's probably staged. I don't know how staged it is, but when it actually comes out, it's going to be far more buggy. It's not, you know, nothing ever works the way it's intended to work 100% of the time when you're talking about computers, as we know from recording a podcast. But
right.
I mean, I get it, but it's still fucking weird. Like, I don't know. I just don't want computers to sound like people. I don't want them to have personalities. I don't know why we need any of this shit.
Come on, man. Why? Why not?
Oh, you're really... Really? That's what you got? Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I think it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Now, do I think that it needs personalities? No. Do I think Joaquin Phoenix believes that they need personalities? Yes.
I never saw that movie. I
never saw it either, but I mean, it's basically the dude who falls in love with his fucking AI cell phone.
I know. Yeah, I know what the phone. I know what the movie's about, but I don't know. I
know a few dudes that are probably going to end up doing that.
Name them, because I'd like to know who's trying to fuck their phone right now.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to name them because I really didn't want to put you on the spot. I mean, them.
Mm-hmm.
Them.
Really? That's what you got? That's what you got?
No, man. Come on.
Pussy.
Bitch.
So a little bit of politics. So President Trump broke the Iran deal. He didn't break it. He ended it.
He did.
And
he said, fuck it.
And now people on the internet think World War III is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. If it hadn't happened before already, guys, it's not going to happen.
It's funny how everything Trump does, people are like, he's going to end the world.
It's over, boys and girls. It's over.
I mean, we're a year in. Pretty sure the world's still around. You know, remember when the fucking ending net neutrality was going to be the end of the world?
Yeah, that was like a couple weeks ago.
Wasn't it the end of last year? No, it wasn't that far ago. No, we're in the middle. Oh Jesus, we're in the middle of 2018 already. Wow. No, it's just, but it was like 4 months ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
And by the way, folks, all that, you know, like I'm sure we have smart people on our pod that listen to our podcast, and people who aren't dumb enough to think the world was going to end because net neutrality ended. But there were people, I won't name them, but there were people who were telling me, like, actually, if you fucking do the research, it's pretty obvious that net neutrality is going to lead to a lot, like higher prices and blah, 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 and all that. It's like, oh, okay, well, all right. Like, none of that's happened so far, so. But Trump. So, do you know anything about the Iran deal? Iran?
Very little. I know it was like a nuclear deal that they were trying to do.
Basically, we were basically bribing Iran, who Iran's a nation that actually sponsors terrorist organizations.
Right.
I know ISIS is one of them. I want to say Hamas, maybe Hezbollah. I'm not sure. But we were giving them money in order for in exchange, they agreed to give us all their documents explaining where they are in their nuclear, I don't know how to put this, like, in their efforts to build a nuclear weapon.
Right.
And they would cease all efforts to build a nuclear bomb, to basically build the uranium enrichment or some shit like that. However, they were allowed to build the ballistic missiles and the guidance systems and all that. They're still allowed to do that. So I guess there's like 3 components in a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, you can only build part of it. Yeah, that's right. All right. I do remember hearing what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we gave them, and by the way, Obama gave them hundreds of millions of dollars illegally. And
that was, come on, man. That was because they had that he was starting a new Brothers franchise somewhere.
Okay. And so he gave them hundreds of millions of dollars, which means he is responsible for dead people. Like, there's no, like, indirectly, but still, he is responsible for a lot of dead people over the last few years. So what happened was Israel sent in their version of the CIA, which is Mossad, and they found evidence that basically they were hiding a lot of their nuclear documents, which is a violation of the deal. And then Trump said, fuck it. I don't think that's the only reason, but he ended it. And now, so Trump, who I never liked, I do think he's a douchebag, but Trump may end up causing peace in both. Well, he's not going to cause peace in the Middle East, but he may help heal the Middle East and also North Korea. So I mean, if you had suggested that to me a couple years ago, I'd have said you were fucking stupid. But
Right.
Trump just, I guess he's just one of those guys who just falls into the right thing.
Probably so. Like, what the fuck's her name?
I don't know.
The girl you sucked her titty.
Are you talking about Stormy Daniels? Stormy
McDaniels, yeah, that one.
I mean, did we discuss that on this show? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Do we want to? I don't know. It feels kind of gross.
I don't technically give a shit that the man cheated on his wife with a
nobody does. Nobody does. I mean, we should.
Who cares?
We should.
Fuck.
It's pretty gross.
But it has nothing to do with his presidency.
It doesn't, but it's supposed to.
Why?
Because the leader of the free world should be somebody with at least basic respect for the person that he's married to.
All right. Okay. So we had a president that literally fucked a woman in the Oval Office.
Yeah, but that's whataboutism. That's look, I'm not saying that you're wrong. And Bill Clinton basically made the U.S. presidency like not worthless, but it took away the veneer of shine.
Oh yeah. It was all in the back of that girl's neck.
Oh. I don't know if he shot that high, but
well, he definitely rubbed her head against the fucking shine.
But just because, okay, good enough. Just because Bill Clinton was a philanderer doesn't mean that it's just we should just accept people's trashy behavior. I mean, look.
No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that man still stayed president as he fucked someone in the Oval Office, and he was a married man. This guy did this way before he was in office or even thought about running for president. So why do we give a shit about that now? I
mean, let's be honest. There's a good chance that he's fucked somebody since he's gotten in office. I'm not.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that too. But what I'm trying to say is like, what does it matter? That wasn't something that happened while he was president. We should not be worried about it. I get that he's a piece of shit because he cheated on his wife. That's a whole nother fucking ball of wax, but that's between him and his wife.
Well, that's actually not the issue, though. Nobody really cares for the most part. It's just funny because so what he's getting caught up in is a possible campaign finance reform violation. Basically, any single person or corporation is only allowed to donate so much money to you, or it's considered a bribe, basically. And so his lawyer supposedly paid off Stormy Daniels $130,000 to keep her mouth shut,
right?
Which she took the money and then refused to do. So, which is funny because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know if this is going to happen, but he can definitely, like, if all this shit goes down, he can definitely sue her for breach of contract. Although she's arguing,
100%.
That he never signed it, so it's invalid. But whatever, that's all like pitiful shit. But it's just funny because basically all this shit that you're hearing about would have gone away if Trump hadn't paid her off. Basically, no one cares that Donald Trump did this. Therefore, if it would have came out when he was running for president, no one would have cared. Some people would have thought he was awesome just for fucking Stormy Daniels, and he wouldn't have all this headache.
True. Very true. But it's still fucking stupid.
I mean, but that's our news cycle.
I know, man. I understand. It's just what the world is today, but it's still just fucking stupid.
I mean, the Iran shit and the North Korea shit's far more interesting to me.
Oh, same here.
And to be honest with you, I never knew Stormy Daniels. I'd had some interaction with her online, but that's like, I doubt she would even remember me. Like I'm not one of those people. It's like, well, I talked to her one time. We were basically friends. I mean, I did know her husband a little bit, but which I have mentioned that on the show before. But
right.
But she always seemed like a nice woman, like she seemed very driven. She didn't just star in porn. She also directed her own movies and stuff like that, which, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would be like, okay, she directed porn. Like, how hard can that be? But it's an actual film set. Like, it's not.
Yeah. It's not that easy, guys. I mean, even if it is porn.
Yeah. I mean, she was an actual director, So I mean, I kind of respected that, and like, but seeing all this shit, and apparently, I heard a clip of it. She went on Saturday Night Live. It's so. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be surprised that a porn star is acting like a whore, but it's just so trashy. Is that weird? Is it weird that I don't think she's trashy for having sex on camera, but I do think she's trashy for going on Saturday Night Live to brag about how she fucked the president of the United States?
No, because I agree with that.
I
think she's a piece of shit for doing that, actually, because she basically took a lot of money to sleep with this man. So she's a whore. Right? In the context, you know what I'm saying? Like, being
She's a prostitute.
That she's a prostitute. She took money for sex, basically.
Yeah. I mean, which again, I'm fine with. I mean, I really. I mean, I think prostitution ought to be legal. I don't know that it will be in our lifetime, but I think it ought to. But yeah, I don't know. It's so gross. And then like, there's so much going on in the world. Just, I don't know. The fact that we're sitting around talking about like some chick that, banged the president. I mean, old news though. I guess we went through that when we were kids.
Right.
And I was listening to Ben Shapiro talk about this, and he made an interesting point. The reason we don't care about this shit, and apparently younger people do, is because we grew up in the 90s, through the whole Bill Clinton era and shit like that. So to us, this is just like, I mean, whatever. If it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna get pissed off about this when if I'm not allowed to get pissed off about him. So,
well, now that we got rid of all that dirty talk, remember that restaurant Crazy Johnny's?
Yeah, I passed it the other day. It's they're building something there.
Yeah, the owner, the owner died today.
Okay. Well, I mean, nobody's going to care about that outside of Metairie, but
you know what I mean. I mean, I was just saying that whatever the person, Johnny something or other. I think it was a woman.
This was Crazy Johnny's was this well-known eatery in basically the New Orleans suburbs. I think I ate there once. I don't remember it being any good. I
ate there twice. It was okay. The first time I went, it was really good. The second time I went, it was all right. It was a little bitty steakhouse that you can get steak for reasonably priced, and it was actually it was a decent cut of steak, and they cooked them pretty well. So that's basically all it is.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny. People talk about like how good the food is here in New Orleans, and I've eaten in other states. I really don't find the food in New Orleans is I mean, certain restaurants certainly, but for the most part,
sir, you must be out of your mind.
No, I've eaten at a lot of different places. I've found plenty of great food in other states. I've never.
I'm not saying you didn't find great food. I'm just saying.
Let me rephrase that. Equally good food to whatever I found in New Orleans. I don't even know what that was.
That was me going, meh. I don't know what that was either, but that's what it was.
Okay. That's true. It's, I mean, maybe, that's it really is so much reputation. Like, look, in the 1800s, yeah, New Orleans was the greatest food place on the face of the earth, or at least in the United States. But that's because they didn't have like French influenced food in other states.
Right.
But now like chefs come from all over the world, and, and yes, some of them come to train here and eat Cajun food and stuff like that. But then they also go out abroad and go to other states. Like it's not,
go into abroad. Like the president.
Jesus, really?
What? What the fuck, man? I'm just mouthing off like an idiot, always.
I know.
I got nothing else to do. I got nothing else going on. I'm listening to what you're saying. I understand what you mean. Yes. I'm sure there is great food other places. Like I've had really good food at in Florida. I've had really good food, other states. But to me personally, it still seems like they don't know how to season their food.
Okay, where's the best food that you've eaten in New Orleans?
Oh, I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay.
My own house.
All right, so you're saying you cook better than restaurants in other states.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's right. Me.
No, I'm just saying, like people have this. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying people have this idea like in their head, like, oh, New Orleans has the best food, and they just tell themselves that. But then like compare and contrast, like, which this restaurant is better than this restaurant, or
Well, it's hard to think right now because I haven't really been to restaurants in quite some time, and on top of that, the ones I've gone to in the last, I don't know, couple years or months, not years, I'd say in the last few months, have been chains, so they could be anywhere. So I really can't say, I ate at this place, and well, of course they're probably at another place, they're probably in Florida too, or whatever, Like, I'm trying to think of an actual local restaurant that I've eaten at in a long time, and it hasn't been one in a really while.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying, like, we all have this thing that we do where we have an idea in our head and we take it as fact, and we never stop to question it. On the last, when you and I recorded last, I was talking about Kanye West, and
Right.
And that's a good example. Like, black people in this country have this idea of like, oh, we're all oppressed. Some of them are, I suppose, and certainly racism and prejudice exists, but there's this inescapable assumption that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's always been, and and blah blah blah. But yet we had a black president,
right? And not to get on that subject, but there's a big difference between being oppressed and being poor.
Well, yeah, but my point is that we get ideas, and it happens in our personal lives. Like, how many people? I'm sure you've met people in your life that grew up ugly, and then they get more attractive as they get older, but they never stop seeing that ugly person in the mirror.
No, because they still have a problem with themselves. Their self-esteem is poop.
Well, I mean, actually, it's a bad example, but my point is like nobody ever stops and says, "Wait, like, why do you still feel this way?" Or do you just take it as like God, as just fact? That's all I'm saying. I think New Orleans' reputation outweighs its actual. I don't know. I've eaten a lot of shitty food in this city.
I understand. I have too.
And a lot of places that people are like, oh, it's the most amazing. Crazy Johnny's was one of them, which I don't remember what Crazy Johnny's tastes like. So sorry to the poor woman who died, who started it. But, but like, how many pizza places have people told me in the city, oh, it's the best. It's the best. And I go there and I'm like, this is shit. This is garbage. This is not, I'd rather eat at Pizza Hut than what I just ate. And there's a lot of places like that. Granted, New Orleans isn't known for its pizza, but all right, people listening, I know at least one or two that are going to give me shit for it. Like, fucking have at it. Come at me.
I'm not going to come at you.
Come at me, bro.
I'm not going to do that to you.
All right. Well, we're both kind of tired. I think you can tell. Sorry, folks. We'll try and do better next time. Just nothing really worked out today.
Yeah, we kind of had a shit day.
Yeah, hopefully you got some entertainment out of this. If you didn't, you can actually go watch. I just posted a video on the MHOG YouTube page talking about a story that I was going to talk about, but again, we're tired. But you can hear it on there. Basically, this woman, so I'll just tease it. This woman went to Universal Studios Hollywood to go ride the Harry Potter ride, and she found out she was too obese to get on the ride, which is a thing, and it's happened to me. And I actually tell a story from when I was kicked off of Dueling Dragons at Universal Studios at the end of the video. It's a long video. It's like 20 minutes, so sorry, but I think it's worth watching. But so she writes this article on Huffington Post, basically bitching about how Universal is just. So she's apparently one of these lunatics that thinks that corporations are trying to hide fat people from the normies. Which, I mean, given the obesity rate in this country, I don't really know how it would benefit any corporation to try and hide fat people. But anyway, so you can go to the MHOG podcast YouTube page. I'll also post the video on our Facebook page as well. So All right. Well, we'll be back next week, hopefully with more people than just us and more energy. And
I'll be here. I'll be ready. I'll be super stoked and excited.
And hopefully Rum doesn't have African AIDS.
All
right. But pray for Rum's soul and African AIDS.
Thanks for joining us for this weird few minutes. And remember, I was your host, Wayne.
I'm Adam.
And remember to keep it metal, guys.
Yeah. Asian AIDS.